I think it's safe to say that Congressman Meadows, you are one of the president's chief defenders. You talk to him a lot. Have you talked to him recently, and how's he feeling about today's vote? Because the letter that he sent to Nancy Pelosi made it sound like he's not happy.
Well, I mean, certainly the letter was a direct letter. It expresses his frustrations, but not just his frustrations. It's the frustrations of the American people. I think that this is a sad day for the country, even though politically it may be a good day for the president and Republican swing districts.
What makes you say that? Have you seen polling that indicates that this will be good for Republicans?
We've seen a lot of polling, but obviously if you look, the support for impeachment has been dropping. The more that Democrats are on TV, the more the hearings happen. If you look at the real clear politics average, it's been steadily declining over the last month, the last 45 days. But more importantly than that, it's not about polls. It's not about any of this. It's about our country. And to impeach the president on such a narrow scope with the flimsiest of evidence is just very troubling.
So do you believe that it was okay for the president to ask a foreign power to investigate his political rival?
Well, when we look at this, that's the way that every single reporter fits the narrative. Do you think that? That's the
question. That's what he's being impeached for.
Well, no. What he's being impeached for is totally politics. When you look at obstruction of Congress, that's an abuse of power. They're trying to pin that on different narratives. But let me answer your question. Was it appropriate was the phone call appropriate? It certainly was. When we start to look at this, the president has long defended the fact that we should not be sending hardworking American taxpayer dollars abroad. A lot of people don't want to send it abroad, period, but certainly not send it to a corrupt country. And so as we look at that, you can find not once, not twice, but 4 different times where the president brought up corruption more broadly about Ukraine. And so to ask the president of Ukraine to look into that was certainly appropriate. Here's the other interesting fact, is President Zelensky of Ukraine never saw it as anything political, never saw a connection, and yet he's the star witness, and we don't have a single affidavit from the president of Ukraine for Adam Schiff and his judiciary colleagues to look at. Wouldn't you think that would be important?
What I'm asking is something different. I'm saying, is it appropriate for the president to ask a foreign country to investigate an American citizen who also happens to be his campaign rival? Yeah. You have had every witness.
Rival. I can
he's
tell
a
you,
likely campaign rival.
Well, there's a whole lot of Democrats that would disagree with you, a whole lot of Bernie supporters that are watching right now that would suggest that that's not the case. But does running for president exonerate you from being investigated? I'd love for my Democrat colleagues to give up on the investigation of President Trump based on that same rationale. Here's the interesting thing is when you look at this particular president and what he asked for to be done, he asked for them to look at it and coordinate with our Attorney General. If you can't have someone coordinate with our Attorney General to truly investigate wrongdoing, are you saying it's okay for Hunter Biden to serve on the board of a corrupt company and actually make the kind of money that he's making? Would you suggest that? Would your viewers suggest that it's appropriate? I can tell you, my voters, they don't think that that's appropriate.